Norwegian. I hope it's not windy today. I'm sorry about the windiness in my last video. I'm gonna try and transcribe all my videos so that it won't be an issue. I'm just working with what I got right now, such as planes. Today I want to talk about studying abroad. If you're unsure about it, if you want to do it but you're kind of scared, or if you just need some tips on how to do it or how to, adjust and all this is the video for you. I'm Norwegian and I studied in London, which is where I am right now. I studied here for 3 years, did my full degree, bachelor's degree, so I'm a pro at this. At least I can pretend. It's a good thing about the internet. So when deciding where to go to study, you need to, consider what's important to you and do your research based on what you want and what you want to get out of the experience. So if you want to live in a big city, or if you want, to live close to nature, places that focus on nature-based experiences, or if you want to live in a place where they speak a different language, you want to learn a different language, you need to, look into how good their unis are for students that don't speak the language, and how diverse the universities are, and how good they are for international students and all this. A lot of people, especially because English isn't my native language, people ask me if it's hard to study abroad, and I'm gonna be honest, it's hard. Yes, of course it is. You're studying a heavy topic, like your actual bachelor's degree or whatever degree you're doing in a different language. It's not easy, but it's worth it and rewarding, and I absolutely love it. It's a great decision. For me, it was the right decision, and I hope it is for you. You also have to adapt to a different system and adapt to a different, societies or different rules. Some places the lecturers don't want you to use their first name. So that's just so weird to me, but you have to adjust to it if that's the norm there. So you have to be on top of doing the cultural and social things right. That's gonna keep you on your toes. So I definitely recommend finding a diverse uni, especially if you're studying in a language that isn't your own, because then, at least in my experience, I went to a very diverse university, and the lecturers are very aware that everyone's first language here isn't English. So they're gonna use, more Anglo-Saxon words, or more, easier words, not so complicated. My first year I had a subject that was so hard, and it almost cost me to have a breakdown because the person used such difficult words that I hadn't heard before, and even the English speakers, native English speakers, were struggling. So I just felt like this is too hard for me, I can't do it. But the 3 other subjects went really well, so obviously I knew that it wasn't me, it wasn't a language issue, but it was just specifically that was difficult. You also get to really widen your perspective and learn new ways to do things, which is such a valuable part of my experience studying abroad. I feel like, I learned a lot of stuff. I learned my actual degree, but I learned so much more that I wouldn't have learned if I just studied in Norway. It's also really interesting with having a diverse university that if you have discussions in class and people give their different perspectives from their countries, it's so interesting to see how different things are from different places, and some things are considered completely normal in other places, but here it's frowned upon. I remember we had a discussion on death penalty, and one of the students who was from Jordan raised her hand and asked if death penalty is a thing here. And that's just, for me, that's of course it's not a thing, but she couldn't take that for granted. It's really interesting how totally different the countries are, and you really see that when you have discussions in class and when you meet other people from different places. Even though you probably feel like your English is fluent when you come here, you're gonna learn more words and more, fluency and all this when you're studying. So you're gonna get, all these planes, man! Yeah, you're gonna master the language in a completely different way, and you're gonna be reading all this heavy literature and writing your dissertation in English. If you're not from an English-speaking country, you're not used to doing everything in English, but it does get easier. Even if you get overwhelmed in the beginning, it's fine. I was overwhelmed in the beginning and I graduated with a 2-1. I am so proud of that. But as I also said, if you are at a diverse university, you're not the only one who's not gonna understand, so it's easier to ask questions because, first of all, that half of these people are already wondering that, but no one wants to be the one to ask the question, so you're just doing everyone a favor. And it's more of a safe environment, and the professors will articulate better, and they will be more aware that they need to make it easier for everyone. But it's so rewarding when things go well. I remember one time we had an assignment and my lecturer came over to me and was like, your assignment was the best of the whole class. And I was just so happy. That was such an achievement for me. When you first arrive here, when you're fresh off the boat, you have a lot to do. Team up with friends, make friends super quickly, cling on to people, tag along, go and do things with them. When you need to set up bank accounts and go to meetings with the bank and stuff, find someone to do that with. Ask what solution people are going for with their phones, talk to people about things. It makes it so much easier and you get ideas. Also, your uni has done this before. Your uni has taken in a lot of international students, I would assume. Ask for help. help. There are services to help you. There's also probably some kind of freshers fair where they will, you know, help you set up a register with a GP and do, you know, admin things that are boring and that you just wouldn't know to do because you've never done them before, even in your own country. Like, you haven't had to get like a social security number, a national insurance number, a personal number, or whatever it's called in your country. You haven't had to do that because you were born there. And as I said, make friends. Stay away from bad friends because you do not need anyone draining your energy. This is supposed to be a really cool experience, and if you're feeling stressed or worried about things or whatever because you're in a new place, having negative people around you is not going to help. So more than ever, be so careful with who you allow into your life. Also, when you're settling in all this, don't think that you're invincible from running into the culture shock, because it's gonna happen. I didn't think it was gonna happen to me. I was like, no, our cultures don't clash that much. They do. I don't know what I was thinking. This country is so different to mine. I thought because geographically we're not that far apart, it wasn't gonna be that much of a difference. I was so wrong. I can't even believe that I even thought that. And I guess the most asked question that I get is if I'm homesick. Homesickness hasn't been a huge issue for me living abroad, not because I don't love my family. Like, I'm super close with my family and I miss them so much all the time, and my friends and their kids. I miss people so much, and it's of course the worst part. And I also miss the food so much, and I sometimes miss the system and the society because I feel like a lot of things are easier in Norway. But my best tips for dealing with homesickness is focus on why you're here and focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on where you're not or the people that you're not with. I'm not saying it's not okay to miss them, and of course, like, Skype with them or FaceTime with them and, you know, talk to them as much as you want to, but don't let that be all you do. You don't just schedule FaceTimes all day. Focus on why you're here, explore things, make good friends to do things with, keep yourself busy. You moved abroad for a reason and you need to enjoy it as much as you can. You're gonna regret all the things you didn't do, trust me. I still regret that I didn't go to an American football match in Orlando. You need to do all the things. There's bugs everywhere and planes. Ugh. But yeah, I hope this made you feel better about your decision or cleared up a few things or whatever. I am always available if you want to ask me questions because, you know, as I said, I'm a pro. Preferably leave them in the comments below because that's where it's easier for me to find them, because if you message me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, I don't even have, if you message me on Facebook, I'm not gonna reply. So leave them in the comments, that's where it's easier for me to find them. If you want to have a private conversation, feel free to message me on Instagram, but be aware it could take 2 weeks for me to reply. Whenever I look through like my old videos, I see that there's tons of comments that I just never reply to, and I don't know why. It annoys me so much because people have asked me like legit like good questions. I don't know why I didn't reply. I'm so confused when I see that, but now I am on it. I will reply to you, rest assured. All right, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and I shall see you next Friday. Keep it good, guys. Bye.